All right, guys, welcome back to the show. We are going to be doing our sleeper segment. These are all the guys outside of the main players, obviously, and we're just going to start rattling them off. So, everybody, let's talk about our favorite players that people aren't really thinking about quite yet. Lala, why don't you kick things off for us?
Thanks, Michael. I'm going to kick it off with Tyrell Haliburton, straight out of Iowa State at 6'5", 175 pounds. If he can gain weight, he can be one of the better complete players in this draft, which is why I think he could be a sleeper. Where he lacks strength, his length and ability to change speeds makes up for it. He doesn't need to work on being assertive, and I do think, again, weight gain and NBA training will help a lot with that. He generally avoids contact at the rim, which forces him to settle for tough layups, but he has great IQ for the game and excels in the pick and roll transition. I just love his confidence and how coachable he is. He keeps the offense flowing with his timely defensive rotations, and I think he's a good fit for the Hawks, better than Avdia in my perspective.
Vice, what's your sleeper?
I'm not sure you can call him a sleeper because I think he's still projected to go in the lottery, but a player I really like is Tyrell Terry. He's super undersized, which is why I consider him a sleeper. Like really small. Last time he weighed in at 160 pounds. There are no players in the NBA right now below 170 pounds.
Wow.
So he's going to have to add a little bit of weight. But he is a lights out shooter and ball handler. He gives me real Fred VanVleet vibes. He seems like a natural born winner. There's just like an X factor to him when I watch him play, which makes me feel like he's going to do well in the NBA. He shot 58% off of screens. He's got a nice like Steve Nash, Steph Curry leg kick to his jump shot. He can finish in at the paint, considering he's undersized. And there's something about him. I don't know. I watched him play. I feel like he's going to be a solid NBA ball player.
Gary, who do you got that's underappreciated so far in this draft?
The guy I got that's pretty underappreciated and pretty low in the lottery is Kira Lewis Jr. He's from the University of Alabama. A lot of positives about him is he's very fast. I think there was a stat saying that he was the fastest player in the draft. And because of that quickness, he's able to get to the rim easier, be able to stop on the break. He has a bit of a handle, so he's able to create his own shot, use that quickness for himself. And he's not a bad defender as well as a shooter. So he's able to be able to defend around the rim and around the paint and all that. And as well, he's able to shoot wherever needed to be, mid-range, 3 points, and all that. He's amazing in transition. He's able to use that speed to be able to go up and down the floor, be able to get those chase down blocks, as well as be able to run in transition and get a fast break dunk. A lot of things that I loved about him was he played 2 years in Alabama, and his first year was not as good as his second year. So you can see that he makes improvements from one year to another and throughout the season. A lot of negatives about him is, he's only great at everything. He's not, amazing at everything. So he should develop those skills a lot more. And the only thing that, we've seen guys like John Morant and De'Aaron Fox do to make that next, level for themselves is be able to pace themselves, go slow and fast, try to figure out where they're going to be, what spots to go slower than usual to really slow down the game for them and be able to pick and choose their shots and playmaking. And physicality is always an issue, but, we've seen guys like Kemba and Steph excel with their physicality being very low. A team that I said that would be great for them is kind of like Boston, New Orleans, Sacramento, or Minnesota, Portland, or Dallas. Play more that Karis LeVert, Lou Will role, where off the bench, he'll give you at least 15, 16 a night. So,
yeah, it's a great pick. My pick is going to be Devin Vasel. Now, is he going to be super low on people's prospects? Probably not. But in my mind, when I see a player like this, my mouth literally starts to salivate. Like when I see defense, like the way he plays defense, yeah, it's something special. Like, I mean, it's hard for me to put into words. It gives me so much joy, That's the best way I can put it. He's not looking at his defender, not looking at the offensive player, and just turns around and does a no-look steal. He's guarding 2 players, 3 players at the same time. If you want steals, if you want blocks, it doesn't matter. He can shoot the 3, which you need to be able to do. You're not going to have a lot of Tony Allens coming out here where you defend at that elite level, but you can't shoot a lick. This guy shoots well. He's got a great shot off the dribble too. So not only can he shoot a spot up 3, but he can pull up from the parking lot. I love the way he's got a funky form, a funky shooting form. People are kind of putting that under a microscope and everything like that. But I like that he has a high release point. He's got great awareness when moving and cutting off the ball. Never stops hustling, flying around. Drop this guy in an NBA team today. And he's one of the guys who can go and try to be a lockdown defender on anybody in the league immediately off jump. I think he's the most NBA ready as a role player in a 3-and-D situation, a la Chris Middleton, Robert Covington, Matisse Thybulle level of impact on the defensive end. I really do love this guy. Now, a couple things he needs to do, obviously. He, at 6'7", 6'10" wingspan, that's great. But he's a $194. So he weighs the same as me. He probably needs to go ahead and pack on another 15 to 20 pounds to be able to start bullying some guys and and then that will expand his ability to probably start trying to guard some fours that can't drive too well and cover 1 through 3 easily. I love his lateral quicks. Displays a super high level passing of vision for a wing. So that's really, really a nice additional thing. He'll never be a primary ball handler, but as somebody who you might slack off of and forget about as a secondary or more, I think, best fittingly, a tertiary ball handler, you have a really, really primed player who can jump in, give you hustle on the ball defense, off the ball defense, and that creates layups, that creates buckets, that creates momentum. Love that from him. Devin Vasel, remember the name. That wraps it up for us. Who are your sleepers from this draft coming up? It's a really deep one. Sometimes you might look at someone that might be a little bit later on in the draft. I'm looking also at Zeke Nananji for Toronto. Like, why not? I'll throw that out there. Love the way that guy plays. But, you know, there's a lot of guys in this draft. I'm super excited to see how some of these super competitive teams that are already at the, you know, primed for a championship run might go and grab some very valuable depth moving forward. Like and subscribe if you're new. Let us know again in the comment sections what you think about our sleepers, what you think your sleeper is. And draft night's coming up, so everyone strap in and get ready. It's going to be fun. Catch you on the next video.